Place your heels at shoulder width and point your toes out about 30 degrees. Put your hands together. Squat down and put your elbows on the inside of your knees. And push your knees out. Don't squat that low. I want you to stick your chest out. There you go. So this flattens. Now you need to bring your butt up a little bit. You're too low. You shouldn't be squatting that low. I'm not going to have you hold this for too long. It's a little deep. Come up a little tiny bit. Good. I want you to take note of where your thighs are, where your femurs are. They're in line with your feet, okay? Your knees are pointing the same direction that your feet are. I want you guys to be aware of your torso position right now. Your torso angle, your back angle is not vertical. You are bent over, and that's how I'm going to have you squat. You are looking down. Your chest and head are looking down about 6 feet in front of you, okay? This is also how I want you to squat. I want you to stand up by driving that up, okay? Stand up by driving this up in the air. I want you to drive this up in the air. Go ahead and drive this up. Push up. Harder, 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 harder. Back down. Again. Good. Again, this time I want you to keep your chest up a little bit more. Drive up, drive up, drive up. Good. Let's do another just like that. Drive up. Push up against my hands. Good. Squat back down. Do the same thing. Push up against my hands. Good. Push up against my hands. Good. Go ahead and push up against my hands. Go back down. I want you to exaggerate it. Do a little harder. Push up against my hands. Don't lift your chest. Just drive up against my hands. Drive up against my hands. That's better. Do it again. A little bit harder. Stick your chest out more. Stick your chest out more. Now drive up against my hands. You feel that sensation? Yeah. That's hip drive, okay? You're going to place the barbell below the spine of your scapula. It's that bony ridge that you can feel right here. Go ahead and reach across and feel it. Can you feel that? It's going to be below that, and it's going to rest on top of your posterior deltoid. So I'll help you find that position. Go ahead and stand up. Step back. You're going to do a set of squats just like I told you, but there's going to be two differences. You're not going to pause at the bottom, and your elbows are no longer against your knees, so you're going to have to push your knees out with your mind, okay? Go ahead, 5 reps. Bend over a little bit more on the way down. Think about driving this up. One more. Exaggerate it. That's pretty good. Go ahead. Sit your butt back a little bit further and bend over more. Bend over more. Put your chest down to the ground. Hold your weight back. Bend over a little bit more, Ariana. One more, and drive this up. Bend over and drive this up. Good. Rack it. Keep this as tight as you can on the way down and squat about a half an inch higher. Break your knees sooner. Bend your knees. Let them come forward a little bit. Stand all the way up. Don't exaggerate the knees out so much. Rack it. You have to let your knees come forward when you squat. I don't want you squatting with vertical shins. You have to let your knees come forward a little bit. Your knees are going to be about an inch over your toes at the bottom so that you can use your quads. Come up. No pausing at the bottom. Sit your hips back more. Bend over more. Drive this up. Slow down a little bit. Get a pinch lower and drive this up. You're trying to do this, on the way down. Remember when we were in this position? Your chest and head are here, right? This is because you're balanced in this position. Stop trying to do this, okay? Because you're coming forward under your toes. Sit your butt back and bend over a little bit. Go ahead. Don't pause at the bottom, a little more bounce. Drive your butt up though. One more. Pretty good. Racket. Drive your knees out and push your butt back. 2, 3. Hold it. Keep this as tight as you can all the way down and then drive your butt up. Bend over a little bit more. Good. Racket. You're going to notice that as we put a little bit of weight on, it's going to be easier to keep your back tight. Okay, I'm not too worried about it right now. We don't want lumbar flexion at the bottom. I don't want you to relax your back down to the bottom, and that's what happens when you squat too deep. Once you get a little bit of weight on your back, it's going to be easier to set your back, okay? Don't pause at the bottom. About a half an inch higher. One more. Good. Now, head and chest down here. Sit your butt back while bending your knees. That's pretty good. Don't pause at the bottom. A little bit lower. Again, drive this up hard. 2 more. Again. Okay, go ahead and rack it. We're going to put some weight on the bar so you can actually get the sensation of driving your hips up. Bend over a little bit more. 3. One more. Good. Rack it. Knees out, butt back. Keep your chest down in this position. Stop trying to push your chest here. Hips up. Hips up. There you go. One more. Lead with your hips, not your chest. Good. Nice job. Don't exaggerate the knees out so much. Let them come a little more forward. Hips up. Two more. Stand all the way up. Good. Go ahead and rack it. Pretty good, Doug.
When you say stand all the way up, because I'm still.
Yep.
Kind of got that.
You're still unlocked at
going.
the hips.
Okay.
You're here like this. So you're standing up here, right? Stand up normally at the top, okay? And at this point, you'll break it. Your hips will go back and your knees will go forward at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to drive your hips. Slow down a little bit. Drive your hips up. Stop throwing your chest up. Good, but get a little lower. That's it right there. Do it one more time just like that. Hips. Good, just a little bit lower next time. Rack it. All right, Vic, we need to slow you down with some weight. Stop thinking about bringing your hips forward, okay? Drive your hips up, okay? Two things have to happen in a good squat. The barbell has to move up and down in a straight line, okay? And that straight line has to be held over mid-foot. So be aware of balance on your foot. If you're rocking on your heels or your toes, okay? And that's what I'm here for, is to correct it if it happens, but be aware of balance throughout your full foot. You're not driving through your heels, you're not driving through your toes. Your balance is right over mid-foot, okay? Drive your butt up, not your chest. That's it right there. Good. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Nice job. Drive your knees out, sit your butt back, and bend over. There you go. Keep this tight. Drive it up out of the bottom. About an inch lower. Still lower. 1 more, get a little bit lower. Good, rack it. Nice job. Don't kick your hips back at the start. Hips go back, knees go forward. Same time. Good. One more.
No, but I can feel myself making the adjustment of, I think I've been way exaggerated in the
Yep.
hip breaks.
Yep.
So can
I used
feel
to
myself
also.
reining it in.
Yeah. So it's not hips, then knees.
Yeah.
It's not knees, then hips.
Right.
They both break at the same time. Your hips go back and your knees go forward at the same time. Now, drive this up, Vic. Better? Drive it up, exaggerate it. There you go. 1 more.
Look out a little more forward on the ground in front of you.
Uncomfortable in your hips, well, you get like some kind of pain or discomfort from using that kind of technique?
Nope, you don't. Your back gets stronger in the process. We want to use your back and your hips, right? That's why I have you bend over, so that they can move some of the weight along with your quads, and they get stronger in the process. Doing it correctly will ensure that you don't have any pain or injury. Doing it incorrectly, and you probably will experience some discomfort. But no, I don't. I mean, it's the same as someone saying, don't you get back pain when you deadlift? You say, well, it's supposed to work your back. If you do it wrong, yeah, it's going to hurt. But we're strengthening our back. We're putting stress on our back to strengthen it. But that stress is good because you recover and then you adapt and get stronger. You want to hold that torso position for the majority of the squat. So when you bend over like this, right, and you're in this position, I'm going to hold this torso position down and back up. And when you lift your chest up at the bottom by leading with your chest, you're becoming more vertical, which is not what we want.
Yeah,
Okay?
I could definitely feel it at the last reps. Like when you said to correct it, like, oh.
Yeah.
Right there.
Little tiny bit faster on the way down. Hips, good. 2 more. Pause at the top. Big breath. Nice job. Don't try to do all 5 reps on 1 breath, okay? At the top, big breath. Don't. Breathe through your mouth. Bigger breaths. Nipples down at the ground. Push your knees out, sit your butt back. Drive your hips up. Hips up. Pretty good. Drive this up. There you go. 2 more. Pretty good. Nice job. Much better in your last set. Drive your hips up. Two more. This up. Good. Nice job, Doug. So I want that to drive up, not back. Your first couple of reps, you were pushing back and you're driving through your heels. Okay? Full foot. The weight needs to be evenly dispersed throughout your full foot.
Yep.
Weight is over midfoot. Okay? Don't push your hips back and up. Just drive them up. Okay?
Yep. And when I failed on the 240, I dumped by falling backwards, which is my balance issue.
Yeah.
because
Driving your hips back.
I don't have hips back.
Half an inch lower. Drive your hips up. There you go. Push your knees out a little bit harder. It's going to help you get depth. One more. Good. Two. Three. Big breath. You're about a half an inch too low. Good. Nice. The crease of your hips needs to go below the top of your kneecap. All right? We don't want any higher than that, and we don't want any lower than that. Going lower requires that you relax and use the bounce off like hamstrings off your calves, which we don't want. It's also not good for your back because you're relaxing your lumbar spine at the bottom. So get to the correct depth, maintain tension on those muscles, and then bounce back up. Don't release all that tension by collapsing at the bottom. Drive your knees out, sit your butt back, and bend over. Hips up. Bend your knees a little bit sooner. There you go. Two more. One more. Get down there. Pretty good. Big breath. Good. One more. Find your balance at the top. You're in your heels. Up, up. Good.
Yeah.
But you're like this,
Okay.
right, at the start, and I can see your toes wanting to come up. You're at the start on your heels, okay? Full foot. Bring your hips under you a little bit more. Feel that weight heavy throughout your entire foot. Okay? Two more. Again. Very good. Nice job. That fourth rep might have been a little too deep.
Okay.
Good. Hips. Half an inch lower. Good. That's it. Two more. Hips, hips. One more. Stay in your hips. Good work, Vic. Nice job. You're squatting less than you were when you were squatting higher. It's okay. So you just did 3 sets of 5 with 225. Next time you squat, you'll do 230 for 3 sets of 5, and then 235 for 3 sets of 5, 240, and you're just going to LP that all the way up until it no longer works, right? So you're just resetting your squat right now. I'd suggest squatting 3 times a week, like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, one of those. 5 pounds each session.